So what's next with this bill? Joining me now to discuss this and much more is Congressman Keith Self. He's a member of the House Freedom Caucus and a mover and shaker right on the tip of the spear on so many issues. He represents the 3rd Congressional District of Texas. Congressman Self, it's always an honor and a pleasure to welcome you back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Jody. Thank you.
All right, so man, this rescissions package, it's exciting news. It's making it over a bunch of hurdles. Give us the latest on where this stands.
Well, right now, apparently the Rules Committee in the House is going to meet at 6 p.m. and they will develop the rule. There will be some debate, and we'll vote on the rescissions package either tonight or tomorrow, sometime to be determined. That's the latest. That's all I can tell you.
All right, so that's the latest on the process of the bill. What are your thoughts on the version of the bill that the Senate voted on and that they have now sent over to each of you there in the House?
Well, you earlier said in the wee morning hours of the morning, I will tell you, they made a wee cut, $9 billion, which is 1/10% of the budget, to take out fraud, waste, and abuse. This is nothing. It's worse than a drop in the bucket. This is nothing. This is a test case, Jody. This is a test case to see if the Senate and the House can make any cuts, because President Trump ran on getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. That's what the rescission packages do. And believe you me, it's not the last rescission package we will see from the Trump administration. This one expires, though, tomorrow night at midnight. So the House has got to take up the Senate version, pass it. Yes, we'll pass it, even though they cut a little bit out of it. But this is a precedent-setting bill that the Senate can, yes, cut some money.
I'm really glad you brought that up, Congressman Self, because, yeah, number one, it is a drop in the bucket when it comes to trying to cut back wasteful spending and so forth. But nonetheless, it is a drop, and it is a step in the right direction. But the Senate really struggled over this, and yet you say, and I'm hearing as well, we're hearing that there will be additional rescission packages coming. Do you think that those future packages can pass the Senate again? I don't have any doubt that you can pass it in the House, but do you think future rescission packages can make it through the Senate?
Well, I don't know, but I think every package that the administration sends over will have a fight on its hand to get through the Senate. There's no doubt about it. The Senate does one thing better than anyone else in the nation, and that's spend money.
Wow. Well, we're going to be keeping a close watch on this, of course. This is, as you said, a precedent-setting bill that's here. It's been a long, long time since we've seen anything like this, and I'm excited that it did make it past the Senate, and we'll keep a close watch on where it goes from here. If I can switch gears with you a little bit, I've been in touch with some other members of the Freedom Caucus, which of course you are a leader there, and I understand that there's been can I say a deal reached, an agreement to advance President Trump's cryptocurrency agenda. A lot of folks don't understand cryptocurrency. I've got a lot of questions about it myself, but tell us overall, if you can, a little bit about that.
Well, there were 3 bills. There was one bill to establish a framework. That's very important. There was one bill to unlock banks and the wealthy to be able to buy digital assets. And there was one bill, in my mind, the most important bill, was to ban a central bank digital currency. We do not want the federal government being able to use a central bank digital currency. That would give the federal government total transparency of your bank account and your spending. Look, we've got facial recognition already. We've got license plate readers. So this would have finished it off with the financial transparency to the federal government and, frankly, the power to say no. You want to buy a big Texas pickup? No, you can't do that. You want to buy a weapon of some sort? No, you can't do that. You want to buy potentially a Bible? Maybe not. If the federal government was run by people who believed in the government having say-so over your financial future.
So where is this going, this whole cryptocurrency thing? It's a digital currency. And thank you, by the way, you and the members of the Freedom Caucus for standing against this central bank overseeing and having the ability to provide surveillance over that digital currency. But is this going to take over the dollar? Is there a threat of that? Are we moving towards a digital currency across the board, or is this another type of currency that American people will be able to utilize?
Well, right now it's another type of currency, and there are several different types, and we don't have time to go into all of them. But my colleague Warren Davidson is very concerned that one of the issues needs to be not only surveillance, but that you maintain self-custody of your assets. In other words, you get to move them around without going through a third party. You don't have to have a third party, again, that has transparency into your transactions. You control your assets, even though they're digital assets.
It's going to be very interesting. I think a lot of, and I know I've spoken with Warren Davidson as well about this, and you're right. He is a master on all of this and has been involved in the conversations from early on. But this whole cryptocurrency thing is gaining momentum, and it's going to be something that we're going to have to deal with at some point. So again, thanks to you and your colleagues in the Freedom Caucus for doing everything you can to at least make sure that privacy is maintained with those who utilize a cryptocurrency. Speaking of the Freedom Caucus, Congressman Self, let me ask you this. And I know better, but I've heard it, and it's being widespread through the legacy media. Among people who are saying the Freedom Caucus has caved when it comes to various demands. Whenever there is something that conflicts with President Trump, that the Freedom Caucus caves and just does what President Trump wants. How do you respond to that kind of allegation?
Well, the old saying is the devil is in the details. And we look at the details of some issues. The one big, beautiful bill 2 weeks ago, this week, the cryptocurrency. We are doing everything we can to push our conference to the right, to maintain personal responsibility, freedom, freedom of speech, freedoms across the board, in this case, privacy of your finances. We are taking the lead and making sure that everything that we pass adheres as much as possible to the concept of freedom, free speech, personal responsibility. So while people say we fold, we move everything here as far as we can toward the freedom end of the spectrum. And at the end of the day, when we have done everything we can do, we say we have done everything we can do, and we agree to move the very important issue forward. We're not folding. We're moving it as far as we can.
Yeah, and you're doing a masterful job at it. Of course, I was a part of the Freedom Caucus as well. In fact, an original member of the Freedom Caucus. And I tell you, they're just warriors, absolute warriors in the Freedom Caucus. And I have watched and, of course, been in many conversations with various members and seeing how effective HFC has been in moving the needle of the entire conference further to the right has just been remarkable. And it's this is a group that really is being a voice for millions of Americans who believe they've lost their voice in Washington. So thank you so much.
Jody,
Congressman Keith Self, yes.
Jody, you know better than anyone because you're a founding member. You know that the mission of the Freedom Caucus is to move the conference as far as we can toward freedom, end of the spectrum. You know better than anyone. Our mission is not to take anything down. It's to move it to the right.
Move it to the right. Congressman Keith Self, House Freedom Caucus, Texas, thank you so much. Great job. Keep it up.